So it's no secret that there's a lot of tumultuous shit happening in the United States of America these days, but Kyle Orland for Ars Technica interviewed some developers about not wanting to attend conferences in the US because of how volatile, you know, mass shootings, ICE, all of that is. So I wanted to read a little bit of that here. So, this week, tens of thousands of game developers and producers will once again gather in San Francisco, as they have since 1988, for the week long Game Developers Conference. But this year, the show will be missing many international developers who say they no longer feel comfortable traveling to the United States to attend, no matter how relevant the show is to their work and careers. Dozens of those developers who spoke to ours in the recent months say that they're weary of traveling to a country that has shown a callous disregard for or outright hostility towards the safety of international travelers. That's especially true for developers from various minority groups, those with transgender identities, and those who feel they could be targeted for outspoken political beliefs. Honestly, don't know anyone who's not from the US who's planning on going to the next GDC. Godot Foundation Executive Director Emilio Coppola, who is based in Spain, told ours. We never felt super safe, but now we are not willing to risk it. Out of the COVID and into the Trump admin. Some international developers had been reconsidering their GDC attendance before this year. Many developers who spoke to Ars Technica traced their reluctance to travel for the show back to 2020, when the conference organizers canceled that year's events amid concerns about the COVID-19 pandemic. A smaller summer GDC was thrown together for later in the year. While the health concerns limited some developers' travel after that, the cancellation also prompted many to reconsider whether that trip had been worth it in the first place. The value of in-person events has kind of stepped off since COVID pushed things virtual. One developer has to remain anonymous told ours. But it was the 2025 show, the first held during President Donald Trump's second term, that really changed how many developers felt about attending GDC. What started as stories of expanded crackdowns on illegal immigration quickly expanded to aggressive additional scrutiny of tourists at the border. This included tales of visitors being detained or sent back home at the airport, especially if they had record of public statements likely to run afoul of the current administration. Hearing European citizens getting arrested by border control over their views on the U.S. is not something I would like to test for myself, said Nazine Fairs, a French-Lebanese citizen and creative director at indie studio Le Cabinet de Savior. Even with these stories circulating, many international developers who had planned to attend the 2025 GDC decided it was too late to cancel, but that doesn't mean their attendance felt normal last year. The agent at the border was very intrusive, more than the usual all brown people racism, said Nia Patel, a freelancer and audio director at Pamelmos Games of her 2025 trip. They asked a lot of questions regarding my employment, roles, and studio. I lied and said that I did not have American clients, nor did I admit to work as freelancer. I was too scared. Be prepared. Some companies took additional steps to ensure the safety of employees who chose to attend GDC 2025. Last year, every studio representative got an additional safety briefing, and our company helped prepare legal paperwork for everyone in case they got in trouble with ICE or immigration. A developer for a big budget studio who asked to remain anonymous told ours, luckily nobody did, but there was definitely some fear going around among the people that went and those that opted not to for 2026. We're not planning any physical presence as far as I know. Other developers told ours about the personal precautions they were taking before coming to the U.S. for the show. I felt compelled to send copies of my itinerary, passport, and other IDs, speaker information, etc., to at least 3 other people who weren't attending, with the instructions that if I didn't contact them by a specific time to let them know that I had landed and cleared security, they should take my information to the Australian consulate, said J.C. Lau, a senior producer at Amsterdam's Twirlbound, who had attended every GDC since 2017. I scrubbed my social media timelines just in case, and I posted something that could get me in trouble. The Godot Foundation's Coppola told ours, of his preparations for the show. A GDC representative told ours that in 2025, the show still saw strong attendance from international attendees that was generally in line with previous cycles. But the American border policies and stories that were just getting started to come into focus for a year ago have now become the background that every potential GDC attendee must consider before booking a trip to the show. Many developers said they decided to cancel GDC travel plans after reading news reports of tourists being detained or turned away at the border or having their phones searched or confiscated. I read a few long reads about how UK German tourists ended up detained, and that was the final straw for me, Austrian-based co-op game founder Aline Magiers said. I have a unique name, and it's very easy to find my political views on the internet. It doesn't feel safe for me. Others cited more direct evidence of problems that they or their colleagues have encountered during recent travel to the US. We've heard enough firsthand stories of trouble at the border, and it's only getting worse by the week, said Tony Walsh, a Toronto-based developer at the indie studio Phantom Compass. It's totally unsafe for us to cross the border. There's no shortage of stories at the moment about the risk of detainment, deportation, phones searched, and harm that makes me hesitate to risk it, said Dominique Guy, a Canadian game writer and narrative designer. Statistically, I'm aware I'll likely be okay, but the consequences, if I'm not, could be high. Now my white friends are being treated like I used to be. Whatever the reason, for international developers overwhelmingly told ours that a pervasive fear of traveling to the U.S. for pretty much any reason has developed among them and their colleagues. For some, this was simply an intolerable escalation of some long-standing issues. I've never really felt safe traveling to the U.S., said Rami Ishmael, a longtime indie developer and consultant and GDC attendee since 2010. I have a lot of Arab names, and I have slightly Arab vibe, and I've been very aware that a lot of folks in the U.S. do not want us to exist there or even elsewhere. I've spent a lot of time with my passport confiscated or in interrogation rooms under this new violent administration. It's simply not safe to travel. I ain't going to GDC because I'm 99% sure I would not leave detention anytime soon, and Ishmael continued. It used to be bad, but now my white friends are being treated like I used to be. So, pretty reasonable take. I mean, I have Arab friends who have, every time they've gone to the airport, gotten randomly searched. This is real. I mean, it sucks, but this is part of what is happening in America now, and it's been especially ramped up. You know, there was a guy from Ireland who got detained and put into one of the camps for a long time. It's just really harrowing stuff, and not the kind of thing that you want to see as an American, but the kind of reality that we have to face, that we're kind of making it so that people are not interested in traveling to the United States right now. So what are your thoughts about all of this? Go to that article from Ars Technica, read the rest. It's a very long article. That was about like half of it. And let me know your thoughts on it when you do. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We have new videos coming out all the time here on the channel. And check out our other channels, which include Those Fake Nerds for nerd and pop culture news, Wicked Good Sports for sports news, and Better Radio, which hosts all of our podcasts. Again, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.